In example 2, we start out with parallel lines, and it should be given to you that these lines are parallel. These angles right here are corresponding. If you have parallel lines, corresponding angles are congruent. So we have 2x minus 135 equals x minus 30. Solving that, you are going to subtract x from both sides, and you have x minus 135 equals a negative 30. You want to add 135 to both sides, and you are left with x equals 105. Now we've done all that work, but that's not our final answer. We were asked to find a couple of angle measures, so we need to put this back. We're asked to find angle EDG. So if we put that number in here, 105 minus 30 is 75. So that angle is 75 degrees. And angle BDG would be on the opposite side of that, would be 180 minus 75, and that would be 105. So 105 degrees. Letter B, these expressions refer to these alternate interior angles. If you have parallel lines, alternate interior angles are congruent. So 2x plus 10 equals 3x minus 15. When you solve that, you subtract 2 x's from both sides, and you have 10 equals x minus 15. Adding 15 to both sides, you have x equals 25. Again, that's not our final answer. We need to take that and put it right in here. We were asked to find angle ABD. So we would do 2 times 25 is 50, plus 10 is 60 degrees. And that angle right here is 60 degrees. Example 3, we have parallel lines, and our corresponding angles are congruent. So we have 4x plus 22 equals 5x. You subtract 4x from both sides, and you have x equals 22. It's not our final answer. We were asked to find two angle measures, angle ECF, which is right here, and angle DCE. I'm going to start with the DCE. 5 times 22 is 110. So that angle is 110 degrees. And if this angle right here is 110 degrees, to figure out the one next to it, we would do 180 minus 110, and that would be 70 degrees. So 70 degrees and 110. Example D is different. These angles are not congruent. One angle is obtuse, one angle is acute, and these angles are supplementary, or they add to 180. So 3x plus 10 plus 7x plus 40 equals 180. Same side interior angles are supplementary. So we have 10x plus 50 equals 180. Subtract 50 from both sides, and you would have 10x equals 130. And then you divide both sides by 10, and you end up with x equals 13. And in this case, you were only asked to find x. You didn't have to substitute it back in there, so that's your final answer. Example E, lines are parallel, and that should be given to you. These are alternate exterior angles. So 5x minus 8 equals 3x plus 10. You subtract 3x from both sides, and you have 2x minus 8 equals 10. When you add 8 to both sides, you have 2x equals 18, and your x is going to equal 9. And example F, again, these are same side interior angles. So 6x plus 25 plus 8x plus 15 equals 180. That becomes 14x plus 40 equals 180. And when you subtract 40 from both sides, 14x equals 140. And your x is going to equal 10. And again, they didn't ask us to find the angle measure. They just asked us to find what x equals. So that's our final answer there. And now on the last page we have a couple proofs. We start out with our given. A is parallel to B. C is parallel to D. Well, if we have parallel lines, we're going to have to come up with some angles that are congruent. And if we look at this transversal, we can say angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And that's because we started with the parallel lines. Corresponding angles are congruent. And if we look at the other transversal, we can say angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Both of those are by parallel lines corresponding angles. And now since 1 is congruent to 2, 2 is congruent to 3, we can say angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 by substitution. The next proof, we have angle M parallel to angle N, and N parallel to P. So we start out with our given. And we have a little hint here. We are looking for alternate interior angles. And this second line should be M is parallel to P. That is a typo. Since M and P are parallel, we can say angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 by alternate interior angles. 2 is congruent to 3 by parallel lines corresponding angles. And now since 1 is congruent to 3, 2 is congruent to 3, we can say 1 is congruent to 2 by substitution.